You're watching TVC News Hour.
At least 6 people have been killed when a suicide car bomb struck a local government office in central Mogadishu, destroying the building and a Quranic school opposite it. Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility for the attack. For more on this, we have joining us in the studio the Director General, International Institute of Professional Security, Tony Ofoyetan. Thank you very much for finding time to come.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
These attacks appear to have lingered for way too long, the deadliest of which happened in October last year, when a truck bomb attack killed over 500 people in Mogadishu. What is of more pressing importance now is the fact that the Somali domestic security forces is expected to take full control of the country's peacekeeping responsibility by 2020. How do you see all of this play out in the next couple of years?
Well, I think the major players, as far as the issue of terrorism in this region, had not come to terms with the fact that major risks are not taken when it comes to negotiations and even projections. The terrorists want to be relevant up to the very last point. Even if the terrorist gives you any impression in any way whatsoever, you don't actually rely on that. I'm expecting, I've said it severally, that the terrorists will continue to attack even till the very last moment. It is now left for those that are the helm of affair, and especially the security agencies, to know that even while we are projecting, we should also understand that you are talking to a group of people that they are not as sane as you are. You are talking to a group of people that don't have the type of orientation you have. A group of people that have the orientation of religious bigotry and maybe some aspect of political hope, so to say, that one day we will be in power. Then, of course, the indoctrination of the religion being a tool through which you fight that one day you will be in power. That has always and perpetually affected the way they behave. Unfortunately, many a times, and this is also prevalent among the African countries, coming to Nigeria, down to Sudan and the like, you always see a situation where we have this belief that, you know, we take chances. Let me just put it like that. We take chances a lot. And that chances happen to be the vulnerability, which the terrorist himself is aware of. That you would always have this. You would have seen even in Nigeria here, several security agencies will give you assurances that we have done X and Z, and things are already in control. And before you know what is happening, or while that is being said, there's an attack somewhere.
All right. At this time, it's taking so many years now. The African Union troop led by the Kenyan peacekeepers have been on ground, but does it seem like they're overwhelmed because they've not been able to totally handle or bring Al-Shabaab to an end?
No, the issue is not being overwhelmed.
Okay.
The issue is if they actually have the political will, as it is now, to curb it, to come. Don't forget that we don't have this thing you call the African force as it is now. Many countries are still not bought into it the way it ought to, and that is one major challenge. If it has not, there are many countries that are not in that because they don't have the direct impact of terrorism. The logistics is one, then training is another, then arms and ammunition is another, intelligence is also another, which of course play the major central role. Who are at the forefront of the Al-Shabaab? Where are they getting their funding from? You can not tell me that the African Union cannot trace the source of funding of the Al-Shabaab. Now that is where the government begin to be hypocritical even against themselves, pretentious against themselves, because it's been discovered that most terrorist groups in the country are sponsored by governments and some people and group of people that are very close to the government. Now, if that is the case, and you have sympathizers, sympathizers nation, even in the African Union, now that means that the African Union have to first of all look inward be able to look at who are those that are sympathetic to the cause of the Al-Shabaab. Now, if they don't do that, whatever strategy that they have in mind would always be, the Al-Shabaab will always have first-hand information, no matter what they do. I think it now behoves on them to tell them the naked truth, that there are moles among them. And once those moles are not convinced why they should stop being what they are, it becomes a problem. Look at what is happening between Donald Trump and what is the name of this country, and say, we are withholding aid for now because we are not convinced that you are ready to fight against these terrorists the way we want you to. Now, that means trying to force that government to say, look, fish out these people, bring them out. We're tired of terrorism. I think that the African Union should be able to take such decisive stance. If they don't, Al-Shabaab will continue. Terrorism, it pays some. It pays some. Now, those that it pays, unfortunately, have the money and they also have the connection, national and international. Okay. And that is where the government, especially the African Union, should not begin to look inward first, before even talking about fighting Al-Shabaab in totality. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ofoyetan, Director General, International Institute of Professional Security. We appreciate you. Thank you.
For having me.
Right.